Hello everyone, welcome back to Talking Walls. We're back for part 2 of our buy, sell, keep little series that we've got going on. I'm joined back with the boys today and we're going to be checking out the midfielders. Who would we keep? Who would we buy? Who would we sell? Who would we loan out? However, we've already done the defenders video, so if you haven't checked that out, go and check that one out along with the goalkeepers. Today we're going to be focusing solely on midfielders. Today I'm joined with Finners.
Hello everyone.
Joined with Tom Rouse, the old gold and black.
Hello.
And we're joined again with Mr. Matt Cooper.
Easy.
Huh?
Hello.
Hello. That was a bit quiet, wasn't it?
Are you there?
I don't know what he said. Anyway. So, yeah, we're going to be kicking off, obviously, as I already said, we're going to be going through the players, what we thought of them this season, and what we would do to them in the summer regarding transfer-wise, not what we'd do to them behind closed
Ruben
doors.
Neves.
Oh, he's got ticked off already.
Finn, we're going to kick off with you. We're going to go with... I don't want to know what you're going to do.
Snog, marry, avoid. Neves.
Yeah, snog, marry, avoid, Alfred and die. Finn, go.
There's that rumour going around that we have to pay even if we don't keep him, isn't there? I've heard.
It's going to be like a loan fee of like 2 million or something.
Yeah.
I think,
See, if the actual to keep him fee isn't too high, I'd keep him as long as he's happy not starting every game.
8 million.
See, yeah, for a Premier League centre mid, whether he can step up, he was decent at Hull from what I saw. I'd probably keep him if it's 2 million to not have him. It's only an extra yeah, I'll keep him. I like him.
Keep him, yeah. He likes him. Tom, what do you reckon?
Very nice boy.
I don't think that we will keep him because of the cost, and I think from the rumours that we've heard already and that excellent video that Matt made about Pele, who seems to be the same sort of
Cheers, Tom.
build. You're welcome, Matt. So I don't know. He seems to lack a bit of pace. He's a bit clumsy. I can see it was
hot-head as well
going for him. Yeah, he is. Yeah, hot-headed. Yeah.
Hot-head. Matt, what do you reckon?
I'd sell him. Well, just don't buy him.
Yeah.
Sell him.
Can't sell someone we don't own.
Sell him for minus 2 million.
He's done all right, but positionally he's awful, and you need to be disciplined in that too. Midfield too. I paid the 2.5 million for what we obviously had from this season, but I think 8 million is ridiculous.
Yeah,
he's a championship player. Good championship player. Probably getting most championship teams, but don't think he can make the step up. Don't think he's good enough. We can go and buy destructive players.
Yeah, I'm going to change my answer. That if I'll get rid of him as long as we get someone similar in, as in a big man,
like a ball winning. Yeah, I know.
Just a big shit house in the middle.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's it.
One of them.
Yeah.
Like a Yaya Toure.
Not a lovely lad.
We don't want any lovely lads in the middle.
Getting Yaya Toure.
Use the hashtag lovely lad.
What it's worth again, Ewan, EAB Skills, who's meant to be on the video, can't be with us today. He said he would sign Alfred and die.
Why can he sign off he's died? He sadly can't be with us today.
I thought it's with you.
You're knocking me all over the place here. But again, I don't know about Alfred. I assume we're gonna have to put him red because we're probably saying no. Yeah. I'd take him as a backup, but I think there's probably better options out there, to be honest, than him. So, would you take Pele or him? To be fair, we don't really know much about Pele, do we? Anyway, no, yes.
I'd take Pele.
I don't know.
Take Pele ahead of Ndai.
Yeah, it's someone new, innit? Grass is always green on the other side and all that.
I mean,
not according to Bully last night.
Oh yeah, that's what he said.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Matt.
Sorry. Oh yeah, end of season dinner awards. Hashtag it.
We went to them.
Moving on now. If anyone says anything different about this guy, I mean, I don't even know why I'm asking you this question. Finn, Ruben Neves.
Ruben Neves.
He's gone for it.
Yeah.
He's gone for
the
Ruben. Renato Saiss.
No. Porto.
Yeah, keep. There's literally nothing more to say. I know we're gonna struggle to keep him. Looking at that tweet yesterday that I saw, I've been moving into Wolverhampton. That's I just boosted my confidence, if you know what I mean, that we are going to keep him. Liverpool fans seem to think that it's a done deal. I've seen Everton fans thinking it's a done deal. There's going to be so many rumours.
No chance.
I saw someone, I can't remember what they're saying, 50 million to Everton. It's just, there's going to be so many rumours like that over the summer, but yeah, keep, definitely.
I've seen Liverpool fans say, oh yeah, I'll have him 30 million. And I thought, if we would never sell him for anything, I don't think less than sort of 45, 50 million
80,
at least.
80.
Yeah, 80 million. Finn's calling
You
me
know what
shot.
cop-outs are like at night? Full of...
Yeah, big up Burke's Bros for moving Ruben into his new house anyway. Tom, I don't know why I'm asking you the question.
Yeah, I think I'll probably keep Neves. Yeah, I think as you just said, it would take an extortionate bid from any team. I think really this summer the only sort of teams that could turn his head would be if Porto were to come back in for him, or a Real Madrid, a team like that sort of level. But with the advice that he's been given, I think from George Mendes, and the journey that we're going to be on, there's no doubt that he could be the poster boy, and he could have. I've said this a couple of weeks ago, but he could have a statue outside the Molineux if he stays for 5 or 6 years, because we would be a top European team if we keep him, and then buy in the summer another 2 or 3 Neves standard players. Sorry, I wasn't on that video, so I don't know how to say Neves properly. So if we can build a team around him, and then once we get another 1 or 2 players of his level, then I think somebody mentioned to me at work today. Oh, once he sees the Emirates or he sees the Etihad, he'll think, and then come back to the Molineux, he'll think, oh, do I really want to play here? But with the project that
out to Molineux,
yeah, well, that's true. But if he's going week in, week out to these amazing grounds and then coming back to Molineux, but the fact that they're planning on expanding it and that he's going to be the key part of it, I can see him probably being the captain next year as well. I think he's the heart of everything that's going to happen at Wolves in the next 5 years.
Do you think we'll keep him, Tom, or do you think we will struggle to keep him this summer?
I have no doubt, and you can play this back when he inevitably gets sold on transfer deadline day, but I've no doubt that he will be a Wolves player for the whole of next season.
I don't think anyone can really afford him, because we're not going to let him go for anything less than
We're the richest. We're the richest
40 to 45 million. But they're not going to spend that much money on a championship player, are they? As good as he is, and as good as we know he is, that's a huge risk.
He's unproven.
The only real debate for me is not whether we keep him, it's whether I start calling him Neves, even though I've called him Neves all season.
Neves.
It doesn't fit in the song though, does it?
Try telling the South Bank that.
Can't tell the South Bank anything. I say probably. I'd definitely. I'd probably, have a look at him in the pre-season. It's obviously a cert to keep Ruben. Big statement from Tom saying he might have a statue, but you never know, do you? The way the club's moving at the moment, the rate we're moving, it'll really be interesting the next couple of seasons or so. See how quick we could grow. But as you say, if we do, it's doable. Signing players of his sort of calibre. It'll be really interesting to see where the club goes over the next year or so. Next first teamer, sort of the man next to Neves this season, Romain Saiss. Finn, where do you stand on Romain?
I really like him. Ever since that, I know last year he had one good game, Newcastle away, and he literally, his first game we were there, and I thought we'd bought like the next Sergio Busquets. He was so good, and then obviously didn't see eye to eye with Paul Lambert from what he seems to have said. But this year he's made me so much money as well. Romain Saiss, first goal scorer, he's like 25 to 1 every week. Not that I've been betting on. Not that he's made my dad a lot of money. No, because one time I think I had a £5 on him, and then I went into McDonald's after the game, and he was in there. I gave him the biggest hug. But anyway, yeah, I'd keep him. You're going to need another of these 3 that we're talking about. We're going to need another one, definitely. So he may be on the bench. Like, he won't be starting as much as this year, I don't think. It depends how much you could get from him. If you got a crazy bidding, because he's not going to be someone we're going to rely on next year. However, I do think he could hold his own. So yeah, keep unless a bid that is too big to refuse, if you know what I mean. Sit on the fence.
Okay. Tom, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think he's been the most underrated player of the season this season. He just quietly does his job every single game without any fuss. His disciplinary record is not too bad considering the job that he does. I don't remember him being suspended too often this season. I think once maybe. So he's done a very good job at Championship level, as Finn has just said, but whether or not he can step up to the Premier League, I'm not quite sure, because work rate only gets you so far really in the Premier League, and I think as has been alluded to a few times, there's a number of these players who are fantastic at Championship level, but for where if this had been any other promotion, there'd be no question they would all be in the team next year. But where we want to be next year is probably out of reach of some of these players, and Saiss, I think, is one of them. But again, I would keep him.
I'd keep him. I'd keep him as well. I think he's been the unsung hero this year. There's a lot of the dirty work. He goes unnoticed. A lot of what he does. A bit wasteful at times with his passing, which I think we should keep him and have him as a backup. He's a good player. He's shown that this season, but I don't think he's going to be good enough to be consistently playing week in, week out in the Prem. But take nothing away from him, he's been class this season.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same. I'd probably keep him as well. I think, again, it's hard to see. As you say, he's been wasteful. A few efforts on goal, a few passes going a bit
there's
wayward.
one every game that he just balloons into the stand.
But there was the Millwall one. The one at Millwall.
How many?
1 in 10, wasn't it, that one? Yeah, I think it depends how you look at it. I think against some teams it could work well for him in the fact that he might be allowed a little bit more space. It might work in his favour, but at the same time, any mistakes, they can cost you massively. In the Championship, you can get away with it 2 or 3 times, but in the Premier League, a lot of teams are just going to punish you there and then. So that's what we've got to be careful of. As you say, I'd imagine we're probably going to be signing 1 or 2 more central midfielders, especially depending on the situation with Alfred and Dye. But yeah, I'll probably go and keep Romain Saiss. Next up for the first team, we're going to class him as a central midfielder, Mr. Morgan Gibbs-White, picking up the Young Professional of the Year, as if there was any competition for him at the end of season dinner. Finn, where do you stand on Morgan?
Great talent, great young professional, as we found out yesterday. I would want to keep him, but only if he was on the bench. If he's not on the bench next year, you've got to loan him out. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that would take him. Championship, yeah, probably stretching lower Premier League. Probably top end of the Championship would be great for him. However, if he's going to get on our bench, I'd still keep him. But if we bring people in, I struggle to see that happening. But one for the future, definitely. If he's only 18 now, he's in my year at school. It's mental what he's doing. It's just, it's crazy.
Imagine being nearly 10 years older than him.
Tom, what do you reckon?
Well, he is the most exciting young player we've had come through the academy since probably Robbie Keane, I think, in terms of what he can do already and what his potential is massive. And the way that they were talking about him yesterday, it seems as if they think that he will become a star player for Wolves in the future. And that's really important, I think, is to have, even though we've got these amazing players coming from abroad, to still have players who come through the academy is really important. But yeah, as Finn has said, I think with his age, it's less of a concern because he's only 18. But it'd be great to see him being a first team player in a Championship team next season.
Perfect. And Matt?
I'd loan him out, but only when we sign James Maddison.
Yeah.
James Maddison.
Oh, I'd love to get him.
I don't know about Maddison. I think he's a bit too.
He's unbelievable.
Great hair.
No, I know he's a good player, but I think
Great
he's too attacking for the way we play. He'd have to play in a front three.
I
think he plays the whole midfielder.
We talk about that.
But I'd keep him, I think. But he's got to progress his development. So it would mean probably playing how he's played this year, which I don't think he will do. I don't think he'll get that much of an opportunity. So like I said, loan him out and he's got to play 46 game season, or keep him and he's got to play as many games as he had this year. Otherwise, if he's just going to sit on the bench, not get used, or playing under 23s, there's no point.
I think the thing is, if we can somehow find a space for him this year, I think he'd by Christmas, if he's playing consistently, he could honestly walk into the England side. That's how, at times, some of the performances he's playing, and at such a young age, he's obviously, there's so much, all the coaching staff, even in England, rate him so highly. So
I don't think he's going to get that kind of platform at Wolves though this season. That's
that's what I mean. I don't think he will. It really depends on where he sees himself playing. I honestly, I thought I was excited when I saw him in the front three at Sunderland, because I think that's where he'll play better. I can't see him as a central midfielder. I think in the Championship, if we played him more with Neves, where he sort of burst forward a little bit more, it worked quite nicely at times. But in the Premier League, if you're going to have one midfielder sitting back and another midfielder just having a free roam, I don't think it will work as well. So as you say, if there is a good loan offer for him, that's going to almost guarantee him a full season in the Championship. Take that, because he'll thrive. I think he'll probably get into any Championship team next year, even at the age he's at, and he's got loads of time ahead of him. So, but as long as we don't stunt his development now, I think that's what we've got to do, and hopefully it just sort of doesn't turn out similar to maybe Conor Ronan, who we'll talk about shortly anyway. So, I mean, what's the general consensus on this? Do you reckon do we put him as a loan out, or do we put him as a keep, or should I put half and half, because we ain't sure about that one?
I think I'd prefer to see him loaned out. Yeah, loan.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, get loads of games. Give him a loan.
Yeah.
We'll put him as a loan out. Right, that's the end of the midfield list. But obviously, we've got a few other players that are on there that we haven't mentioned just yet. So, firstly, Ben Marshall, currently out on loan at Millwall. They had a pretty good season, missing out on the playoffs just about. Finn, can you see us quick fire? Can you see us keeping Ben Marshall? Would you loan him out again, or would you just get rid?
Yeah, if we're doing a quick fire, very nice guy. I met him once, not last night, surprisingly, not last night, at V Festival. Absolute, just mental guy. I can see why people like him off the pitch, and videos on the Wolves channel you've seen this year. Great guy, but yeah, I could see him going to someone like Stoke with Paul Lambert there, going permanently there, something like that. Maybe with a Joe Allen deal or something like that. But yeah, sad to see him go if he does go. However, yeah, probably best to get rid. Love you, Ben.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him go to Stoke, actually, if Lambert stays. Tom, what do you reckon?
I just want to say, do you remember when we thought he was amazing at free kicks?
Yeah.
Compared to what we've got now.
Neves.
Yeah.
Neves.
No, I think
Ben
I can't
Nash.
see him staying. He'll be sold, and if we can get $1 million for him, I think that's a good return. Really, I don't think he's worth much more than that.
Yeah, and Matt.
Yeah, he's going to go. I think he's earned himself a move to the Championship. I can honestly see him washing up on X on the beach rather than playing for our first team. He's that kind of character.
Well, Millwall
Yeah.
might want him. Forgot about that.
He's just that kind of fella, isn't he? He's just one
such a legend.
He's all right
Love
at
him.
football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to go on a night out with him. If you fancy it, Ben, let me know.
I actually think he was all right for us when he signed at right midfield. When Costa got injured for a little bit, he was one of our better players.
His first game at right back
of course,
when he wasn't fit.
Yeah, but
Since then he was very good.
I think I'd probably look to sell him as well. I think, as you say, he'd probably get into 90% of the Championship teams anyway at the moment. Next one, Conor Ronan, Finn, out on loan at Portsmouth. Got a little bit of potential there, doing all right there at the moment. What would you do with him next year?
Yeah, I really like him. I saw Kenny Jackett say that he would like to get him in on loan next year if possible. Yeah. So that's looking like a great option for him. The Portsmouth playoffs?
No, they missed out.
They missed out.
Just missed out.
Yeah, so going there again, that'd probably be good. I remember, I can't remember when was it last season when he had a few games?
Yeah.
It was Wigan. I remember at Wigan when we lost 1-0 on Valentine's Day, he was the only positive that night. So yeah, I can see the potential there. Omar Bogle last minute. But yeah, definitely loan him out there, preferably to Kenny Jackett again. That would be cool.
Tom?
Personally, from what I've seen, I rate him as highly as Morgan Gibbs-White. I think the game against Manchester City, he had De Bruyne in his pocket for the time that he was on the pitch. He dominated it. And the game against Southampton in the League Cup early on in the season, he came on and changed that game in our favour as well. I think he's a really, really good prospect, and I'd love to see him playing more for the first team, but because of us getting promoted and because of him where he is at his development, I think it's fallen at the wrong time for him, and I can see him being. I think what he needs is a step up from League One and a loan into the Championship.
Yeah, and Matt?
Yeah, loan him out. Good player. Looks a really tidy player. Whereas again, Bob Morgan don't really know what position he plays. Yeah. So he needs to cement that down really.
Yeah, I think that was my concern with him. I think of him and Morgan, to be honest, they're both players that are attacking. And especially with Conor, I really hope it's not going to be the case that because of us sticking with this structure, you never know. I mean, Nuno might change the whole sort of formation and what have you next year. But if we're going to stick with this sort of style of play and sort of structure, players like Conor Ronan are going to struggle to get in the team, as you say. On that front three, he was on the right hand side. He did really well, but I can't see him as a central midfielder. He's too lightweight for that role. So I think Championship loan is probably the way to go. And finally, the last player is Mr. Prince Onyanga, and I assume this is going to be sort of exactly Finn Prince.
Yeah, shame it didn't work out, but still, we've got to bite the bullet.
Yeah, Tom.
Yeah, cash in if we can. Any sort of fee would be a bonus for him.
And Matt, I'd assume it's going to be the same answer.
Yeah, why not? Flog him.
Go on. I mean, it didn't help when Zenga put him out as a flipping left winger against Villa last year, but it's one of them, isn't it? Yeah, probably the same again. Currently on loan at Angers in France, but
Ruben.
looks like Prince is probably going to go. But yeah, that is the end of our midfielders video of the buy, sell, keep. Let us know in the comment section down below who you would buy, sell, and keep out of that out of our little squad list. But yeah, make sure you hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can check all of us out in the description down below. Make sure you tune in to the attackers video once that is released, and we'll all see you all very soon.